Boom, have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Biggity boom, have no fear. The I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast is here. Woo. Welcome to the Iron Dome of Disruption. Welcome to the Ziggity Zone of Disruption. The name is Michael Rapaport, a.k.a. the Inflamed Ashkenazi, a.k.a. the Raging Bullshitter, a.k.a. the Sultan of Sniff, a.k.a. the Disruptive Warrior, a.k.a. the Gringo Mandingo. And this is the world's most disruptive podcast. As I said, welcome to the Iron Dome of Disruption. Welcome to the Ziggity Zone of Disruption. Hope everybody's feeling good. Hope everybody is feeling safe. And I hope everybody is feeling sane. What a day to podcast. OMG, what a day to be a professional podcaster. Oh my gosh. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God, ba-dum, boom. Ay. What a day. What a day to be a podcaster. Obviously, we're going to get into, we just got to jump into it. I am back in New York, Nueva York. I had a fantastic trip in Israel, had a great trip in Israel, and we will be rocking with you throughout the rest of the summer and beyond. I'm Rapaport Stereo Podcast will be here rocking with you throughout the summer and beyond. Of course, Rapaport's Reality drops every Wednesday like clockwork, talking all things reality TV, all things popular culture, and what it's actually like to be married to me, Michael Rapaport. Oh, yeah, with my wife, Kibi Rapaport. Listen, let's just jump into it. Here's what happened. The question of the day is, where were you when they tried to clip Dick Stain Donald Trump? Where were you when they tried to clip Pig Dick Donald Trump? And I am going to say off the top, there is nothing funny. I was disgusted, concerned, frightened by the assassination attempt of Dick Stain Donald Trump. I don't think it's cute. I'm not with it. I don't support it. I don't think it's funny, cute. I don't play with death. I don't play with wishing death on people. I don't play with that shit. I don't think it's not good. It's not funny. It's not sweet. It's not Instagram. It's not Twitter. It's not, they almost got him. I've seen a lot of videos. But the question of the day is, where were you when they tried to take down 4-5 the former president of the United States, Donald Trump? I will tell you that I was sleeping. What? Mike Rapp, it wasn't that late. Wasn't it like 8:30 Eastern time, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 7:30 Eastern time? Yes. But as I said earlier in the broadcast, today's broadcast of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, I just got back from Israel and I was jet lagged. So 7 o'clock Eastern time is like midnight Israel time. Well, that's not that late, Mike Rapp. What the I go to sleep. Okay, I go to sleep. Nonetheless, I was sleeping. I took one of these gummies, one of these melatonin / CBD gummies. I took one of those puppies and I was out like a light. My wife also went to sleep early, and I had been sleeping, I think, for 2 hours. Let's say this assassination attempt happened at 7:30 Eastern. Allegedly. We don't fact check at the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, but it was 7:30 Eastern Standard Time where they tried to clip Pig Dick Donald Trump, Dick Stain Donald Trump. My wife tapped me. She goes, babe, someone tried to shoot Trump. And I was like, I was like, okay, whatever. You know, it's like, I didn't think it was like they actually shot him. And then she like hit me a couple of minutes later. She goes, babe, they shot Trump. And I was like, what? And then, you know, I slowly got up because I was in a deep sleep. I wasn't in a kind of sleep. I was in a deep sleep when I realized that they tried to take down Pig Dick Donald Trump. So when you ask me, where were you, Michael Rapaport? And a lot of people have asked me, my DMs were flooded. People were waiting on the edge of their seat for my comments, my critique, my thoughts of what happened. And I have to tell you, the answer is I was sleeping. Michael Rapaport, yours truly, was sleeping. I was out like a light when they tried to take down Donald Trump. But like everybody else, I caught on quickly. I woke up quickly. I turned on the TV, got on my phone, and I was like, holy. Everybody has seen this footage. Everybody has watched the footage, watched the slow motion footage, know that now it was a lone shooter. A 20-year-old kid tried to shoot Dick Stain Donald Trump. Crazy. And like I said before, I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's cute. It would have been horrible for the country, horrible for the world, had that kid, and I say he, some people are saying it's a conspiracy, had that lunatic shot Trump and Pig Dick Donald Trump. Oh my goodness. I've said it once. I've said it a gazillion times. This guy ain't going nowhere. Dick Stain Donald Trump ain't going nowhere. This guy, he's going to outlast all of us. He got clipped in the ear. This close. Would have been in his head. Would have been dead. And the greatest criminal in American history, Dick Stain Donald Trump, who makes Suge Knight look like a Boy Scout, makes Al Capone like a Catholic school kiss ass. You can't stop him. Impeached, indicted, guilty. You cannot stop this guy. And God loves Dick Stain Donald Trump. God saved his life because we're with inches. Clipped his ear. You saw the footage. He went down like oh. And let me tell you something. If I was on stage performing, and knock on wood, I don't play with this. If I was on stage performing and people were taking shots, I'd be scared. The last thing that I would do after I got up is be like, fight. I would probably shit my pants. I'm not saying Dick Stain Donald Trump did not shit his pants. It's not confirmed whether or not he did shit his pants or not. But Dick Stain Donald Trump got up and said, fight. And USA, after getting clipped in the ear. By the way, me and Pig Dick Donald Trump now share the same ear. You see that? I've told this story a billion times. My ear got bit off in a fight. You see that? In 1989. And they're like, oh, he was playing golf the next day. Well, I was shooting hoops the next day. Okay, it's not that big of a deal to have an injury in your ear. But I was also 19. This guy's 79 years old. Nonetheless, if there was an assassination attempt on me, the last thing I would be doing afterwards is be going, fight, USA. Crazy situation, scary situation. It was, in fact, an assassination attempt on a president. I immediately thought about growing up when they tried to shoot Ronald Reagan. They tried to kill him. They shot him. And they shot his press secretary, Brady. This was captured on camera and it was shown as a kid. You saw it over and over. And I remember the security taking out like the Tech 9 or the AK-47. And it was so frightening. John Hinckley Jr., you sick you. I thought about that and it just reminded me about that. And I thought about when I was in I believe it was 1993 or 1996. It was 1993 or 1996. I think it was 1993. The earthquake. Because when Trump went down and he's like, let me get my shoes. I thought about when I was in the earthquake of 1993 with my wife. And she pulled me out of the bed. I'm butt ass naked. And our neighbor's knocking on the door going, Michael. And I'm like, hold on. Like I had lost my voice. I thought the world was coming to an end. Yo, when that earthquake took place in 93 and my apartment was shaking and you're hearing glass breaking and my neighbor's going, Michael. I said, hold on, I don't have any clothes on. That's like Trump, in my opinion. It's the same thing. Let me put on my shoes. Unless he's just total savage. And you could say what you want about Dick Stain Donald Trump. I personally think this guy is a total fucking animal. You can't stop him. You could only contain him. You can't stop Dick Stain Donald Trump. You could only contain him. And of course, people are saying it was staged. It was a setup. You got lunatics all over social media saying, oh, it was catch up. Those weren't real gunshots. Like everybody's a military person or a hunter. You got people saying like the CIA was involved. There's conspiracy videos. I know one thing. The Secret Service, y'all done fucked up. Because there is video that shows people in the stands at the crowd going, there's a guy on the roof. He's got a gun. I don't know. I don't know what kind of sweep you guys did or didn't do. But if I was Dick Stain Donald Trump, if I was Big Body Baron Trump, who, by the way, Big Body Baron is that dude. His son, Big Body Baron. If I were any of them, Melania Trump, Ivanka Trump, any of the Trumps, the entire Secret Service staff, they're fired. And also, Dick Stain Donald Trump is 6'3". He's 6'3". Why do they have Secret Service people that are like at the tallest 6 feet? I want big goons. If you come out to save the president, you should be taller and bigger than Trump. They got this one woman who went viral. Yo, you about to lose your job. The woman who went viral, who hid behind the podium, you played yourself. You trained your entire life to be a Secret Service person. And when the shit hit the fan, when the pops started popping, you hid behind a podium, and then you're fumbling your gun. It looked like something out of Veep, some Keystone Cop shit. You know the show Veep? It literally looked like some Keystone Cop, Abbott and Costello, like, oh, you're a Secret Service. You're not a mall cop. You're Secret Service and you're fumbling your gun and you're hiding behind a podium. This ain't a mall. You ain't Kevin Blart, mall cop. But it was not staged. This was not fake. This was scary. This was insane. But Dick Stain Donald Trump, I mean, you couldn't have staged it any better. You could not have staged it any better because this guy just cannot stop. This guy just will not stop. And the scary part and the sad part is that a father was killed instantaneously. Obviously, the person who tried to shoot Trump was killed instantaneously. And you know that dude, that Secret Service guy, that sniper, I don't know if it's Secret Service or that sniper, he's like, I've been waiting my whole life for this. I've been waiting. There's rally after rally. I got to listen to this guy drone on. I got to hear the same. Some weeks I'm working with Biden. Some weeks I'm working with Trump. I got to hear the same songs. And then all of a sudden, and my man just bop, quick, fast, in a hurry. But that dude who took down the person who was trying to kill Trump, salute. That motherfucker he waited his whole life. He trained his whole life. He sat through rally after speech, after bag of bull, after bag of bull, after bag of bull. And then the moment came and homeboy went whoop and boom, incredible. And it is just, the whole thing's crazy, scary, and historic. One of the things everyone is talking about is Did Trump bring this on himself? The climate in the country, the climate in the world, the antagonistic behavior. He says all these crazy things. Biden says all these crazy things. The media says all these crazy things. Is this the ramifications of this hate? Now, I will tell you, if you listen to the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast, I said it. For some reason, people went into a frenzy, but I have said it. I said it once. I said it twice. I'm saying it the third time. Voting for Dick Stain Donald Trump is on the table. What? I have said it once. I'm saying it twice, and I'm saying it again for the third time. Voting for Dick Stain Donald Trump is on the table. And I gave him the name Dick Stain Donald Trump. I gave him the name Pig Dick Donald Trump. But I ain't voting for Biden. I'm voting for my money and Israel, and not in that order. Israel needs to be protected and supported, especially in these times. Especially in these times. Without question, without hesitation, Israel needs to be protected and supported. Without question, without hesitation. Israel's being bombarded every single day by Hezbollah. Hezbollah, who's the little whore. Hezbollah is the little terrorist whore of Iran. Rockets and missiles every single day. But I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I am not going down that rabbit hole. I insist on a president who supports Israel 150% full throttle. Is Israel perfect? No. Should the United States have a say? Yes. But at the end of the day, the people, the state of Israel must be protected. And I am voting for a president that will protect Israel, no questions asked. Well, questions within reason asked. Obviously, there's questions, and obviously there needs to be answers, but you understand what I'm saying. I've said it once, I've said it a gazillion times. I've ranted about it, and I will not back down on this. January 6th, just like this person who tried to assassinate Trump, you can't blame Don Lemon, you can't blame Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, you can't blame anybody. Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. The only person you could blame for trying to kill Trump is the person who tried to kill Trump. People have to take responsibility for their actions. Obviously, this kid is nuts. And obviously, the people that went into the White House are fucking nuts. But that was a different story. There is no doubt in my mind that there was some funny business that happened on January 6th. There is no doubt in my mind that it wasn't just some lone kooks. Although I think it was a bunch of lone kooks, but I think the whole push came from the Proud Boys. And where were the cops? It's been well documented that me, Michael Rapaport, 2019, December 30th, I ranted because Dick Stain Donald Trump said it's going to be hell on January 6th. And I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Why? How? What are you talking about? It's going to be hell on January 6th. Dick Stain Donald Trump, he stirred the pot. He antagonized it. He waited. He delayed. He reveled in it. He wanted Mike Pence to back his kooky to say, Trump was responsible for all that. But at the end of the day, those people are responsible adults, and they have to make the decisions on their own. They have to make the decisions on their own. And they did. And a lot of them are facing the consequences, as they should. Should they be pardoned? No. The QAnon shaman, should he be in jail? He's a lunatic. This guy should be in a mental facility. But those ones that stirred the pot, what was the name? Esposito, whatever that one, and those Proud Boys, they should be in jail. But Trump, there's no doubt that Trump egged it on. But if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Diggity, don't do it. And if you don't want to get a sniper shot in the head, don't try to shoot Pig Dick Donald Trump. It all works out. Anyway, I do not think that anybody is responsible except for the people that do and take their actions. Are some of these people crazy? Should some of these people not be able to watch the news? Yes. Should some of these people not have access to the phones? Yes. These are lunatics. Vulnerable lunatics. That being said, you can't stop people from watching the news. You can't stop people from looking at their phones. And mental illness is a problem in this country. All I'm going to say further is that Dick Stain Donald Trump is an animal. Dick Stain Donald Trump is like a ginormous cockroach. You can't kill him. You can only try to contain him. People are saying this just won him the election. Let me tell you something. This did nothing. By the time November comes along, by the time November 5th comes along, who knows what else will have happened. You could literally take this homemade iced latte and put it up against Trump. People will vote for this homemade iced latte. It doesn't matter what it is or who it is. Kamala, Gavin with the good hair, or this homemade iced latte. This is not changing the way people are going to vote. People are going to, and November is like, what is it, 4 months away in normal time? That's 6 years away in Dick Stain Donald Trump time. That is literally 6 years from now in political time, because so many things are changing every single day, every single minute with this. And like I said, I make jokes, the Dick Stain, the Pig Dick, all that. It would have been mortifying had he gotten killed. It was mortifying that he got shot in the ear. It's mortifying that me and Dick Stain Donald Trump now have similar ears. I'm glad he's okay. I feel bad that other people were hurt. I feel bad that this person, this father, a former firefighter, was killed. The whole thing is a catastrophe. And I feel bad that the Secret Service hired some Keystone Cop chicks who were literally cowering and couldn't holster their gun. You're fired. You're done. What else is going on? And the crazy thing is that this is the best thing that could have happened for Smoking Joe Biden, because nobody's talking about his press conference. He gave a press conference 2 nights before where he was, what did he say? He called Kamala Harris, the Vice President Trump. He said Zelensky was talking crazy, making up. See, this is why I can't with Biden. I can't with Biden at his press conference, his big boy press conference. Their words. They called it a big boy press conference. You can have your big boy food. We're going to do a big boy press conference. You have a big boy meal. We're not going to crush your carrots today. No, you're going to chew them up good. At his big boy press conference, which everybody has forgotten about, Biden literally thinks that Jews and supporters of Jews and Zionists, which is simply people that believe in the right for Israel to exist, he thinks that we don't know what's going on. He said during his big boy press conference just a few days ago, which has been swept under the big boy rug, that Hamas isn't popular in the West Bank. Yes, they are. Hamas is popular in Judea, Samaria, also known as the occupied West Bank. And he also said that he believes in a 2-state solution. Are you going to police, govern, and protect and facilitate this 2-state solution? There ain't no 2-state solution. Gaza's not getting a state. You don't get a state after this. They had chance after chance after. This is why I can't vote for you. You're talking about 2-state solution. There ain't no 2-state solution with these animals. There's no two-state solution with these fucking animals. But all this got swept under the rug at Biden's big boy press conference because they tried to clip Dick Stain Donald Trump. Anyway, what else is going on? Obviously, this Trump thing was the biggest thing that happened over the weekend. The great Dr. Ruth Westheimer passed away, the sex therapist. If you're my age, Dr. Ruth Westheimer was like a pop culture, like all the time, like a popular cult. Everybody knew Dr. Ruth. We'd see her all the time on all the talk shows. She'd have her show. She'd be on the Johnny Carson show. She'd be on the David Letterman show. She was on the Howard Stern show. You'd see her all the time giving sexual advice. The great Dr. Ruth Westheimer. The great Dr. Ruth Westheimer. I did not know this. I knew and I had heard about her family escaping the Holocaust. Dr. Ruth Westheimer was a sniper. The great Dr. Ruth Westheimer is somewhere applauding. The great Dr. Ruth Westheimer was a sniper for the Haganah before the IDF in Israel. She's applauding somewhere, that sniper who took down that fucking nut job who tried to shoot Dick Stain Donald Trump. She is applauding, laughing, and giggling in her cute laugh. But Dr. Ruth was a sex therapist who would be on all the shows, and you'd be like, what are you talking about, you little old lady? Who are you f***ing? Like, you're 77. She would go on and on and on, like in her 60s, and she was so sweet and so cute and so funny, and she was all about, positive sexuality and positive sense of self. And the great Dr. Ruth Westheimer passed. The other thing I want to say about Dr. Ruth, I forgot this. Maybe Miles Jordan shift this. The other thing I want to say about Dr. Ruth, the great Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who again was a sniper in the Haganah, the military of Israel before the ITF was invented. Dr. Ruth Westheimer was a sniper. How ironic is it that the great Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who would never curse, who celebrated a positive sex, positive body image, positive image of self, passed away the same week that the Haktua girl has become the new face of feminism and the sexual revolution. What the f*** is the world coming to? We went from Dr. Ruth, the great Dr. Ruth, to the Haktua girl. I'm so glad I don't have daughters. If my daughter was on camera talking about Haktua, spit on that thing. Haktua, spit on that thing. Where do you go with that? Like, hey man, I saw your daughter. That was your daughter. I saw her on a clip. She was on CBS Morning News because it's everywhere. I actually saw her on CBS Morning News, and then I saw her on CNN, and I actually saw her on Fox News. That's your daughter, Jeff, right? Because remember when my daughter used to play with your daughter? They played girls soccer together in the 7th grade. I saw her on the news. She was there for Haktuing, spitting on that thing. Imagine that conversation. Also passed Shannon Doherty. 53 years old, Shannon Doherty, who of course was a big star, burst on the scene with Beverly Hills 90210, and I believe she was in Buffy the Vampire, and she had a nice career, and she died at 53 years old of breast cancer, and that really made me sad because she's my era. I never met Shannon Doherty, but obviously I was aware of her and her stardom and her beauty, and then her advocacy for breast cancer awareness and sharing her journey as she knew she was going to die. 53 years old is so young. I feel so bad for her, which is just terrible, sad. And Alec Baldwin, fortunately, Alec Baldwin, who is a friend of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I'm such a fan of Alec Baldwin. And the Alec Baldwin episode on this I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast is one of our greatest episodes because you're only as good as your guest. If you have a guest, you're only as good as your guest. And the great Alec Baldwin, actor, controversial personality. But that case on the set of that movie Rust, where he accidentally fired off a gun, killing the cinematographer, shooting the director, which has been, talk about politicized. That whole situation was politicized. What a tragedy. I can't even imagine what that was like for Alec, for the director, for that cinematographer, for that entire cast and crew while they're casually rehearsing. I've done this hundreds of times, literally hundreds of times. After lunch, you come back, you're casually rehearsing. I've literally rehearsed after lunch with guns on Justified, Copland, Prison Break. I can't even imagine the nightmare. Talk about PTSD that entire cast and crew went to when they're setting up the camera, when they're setting up the shot after lunch in New Mexico. It's probably hot, probably just stuffed their faces with good catering food. And you come back and you think you have a prop gun and the camera is being set up and they go, okay, and he's going to fire and I'll go bang, and it's a real bullet. This is a tragedy. It was a tragedy. And yes, somebody should be held responsible. But unless there was a crazy conspiracy theory and some crazy, really dirty behind the scenes, this is just a terrible, terrible accident. And I'm glad the case was thrown out. I hope that this woman and her family could rest in peace. Sometimes it's just a terrible accident. They were friends. An actor's relationship to the DP is very close. You work with them. That's the person you communicate even more sometimes with the director. You, as an actor, you communicate with the DP a lot of times even more so than you do with the director and even other actors. I am sure Alec Baldwin tosses and turns and has nightmares about that. And I am sure everybody, of course, the family, the victims, it's a terrible situation. Obviously, the woman who got killed, the DP, her family, first and foremost, just what they dealt with and what they're dealing with, and the loss of a mother and the loss of a wife. But for have this thing to be criminalized and politicized is just bad. And I'm glad it got tossed up. Hopefully this woman's family could really rest and start to mourn. And what I have to believe, and what I do believe, is just a terrible, 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 tragic accident. So his case was thrown out. The other thing I want to say about Dr. Ruth, I forgot this. Maybe Miles Jordan shift this. The other thing I want to say about Dr. Ruth, the great Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who again was a sniper in the Haganah, the military of Israel before the ITF was invented. Dr. Ruth Westheimer was a sniper. How ironic is it that the great Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who would never curse, who celebrated a positive sex, positive body image, positive image of self, passed away the same week that the Haktua girl has become the new face of feminism and the sexual revolution. What the is the world coming to? We went from Dr. Ruth, the great Dr. Ruth, to the Haktua girl. I'm so glad I don't have daughters. If my daughter was on camera talking about Haktua, spit on that thing, Haktua, spit on that thing. Where do you go with that? Like, hey man, I saw your daughter. That was your daughter. I saw her on a clip. She was on CBS Morning News because it's everywhere. I actually saw her on CBS Morning News, and then I saw her on CNN, and I actually saw her on Fox News. That's your daughter, Jeff, right? Because remember when my daughter used to play with your daughter, they played girls soccer together in the 7th grade. I saw her on the news. She was there for hock-toing, spitting on that thing. Imagine that conversation. Great show. This will be discussed on Rapaport's Reality. There's a great reality show on Netflix. Last season, they did Quarterback, where they followed Patrick Mahomes. They followed, you like that? You like that? And they followed a bunch of other quarterbacks on the Netflix show. It was called Quarterback. This season, they have Receiver on Netflix. All of the 2023 season, they followed Jefferson, George the Animal Kittle, Devontae Adams, Deebo Samuels, who is so unlike his football personality. He's like a big, sweet kid with a gorgeous baby. Deebo Samuels, listen, you're one of my favorite football players. Your little boy is so freaking cute. If you need a babysitter, me and my wife we will absolutely babysit your beautiful little boy. He's gorgeous. Who else do they follow? I can't remember, but it's great. Receiver on Netflix, a reality show. My wife loves it. And Hard Knocks off season on Max, following the Giants through the entire off season. And these will be collabs because my wife and I, we love, just like we love all the other reality shows, we and she, because sometimes I watch some of these reality shows that on Netflix. There's some reality shows on Netflix, these Love Island, Love Match, F*** It or Leave It. There's some show called F*** It or Leave It or Take It or Leave. I don't know what these shows are called. Netflix has got a whole list, and then they cross over. I watch some of them, and I'm like, I literally have taken 3-4 years off my life. I watched 3-4 episodes, and I've taken 3-4 years off my life. But Receiver on Netflix is awesome, and it'll get you in the mindset for NFL, and it'll get you in the mindset for fantasy football. Anyway, I'm done. Came, saw, disrupted. Kiggity, came, saw, disrupted. As usual, I am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the world's most disruptive podcast. I'm out. Miles Jordan, a.k.a. the Bleach Brothers, a.k.a. the Dust Brothers. Take me out of here with something real nice. Take me out of here with something real loud. But most importantly, take me out of here with something real funky. I am Rapaport Stereo Podcast. I'm done.